Welcome back to Monster Picker Headquarters. Boy, do we have a great show for you. It's a hard rockin' heavy metal heavyweight album battle between Def Leppard's Pyromania and Quiet Riot's Metal Health. So you know it's going to be good. But before we get to the battle, why don't you rise up, gather round, and hit that like button to the ground. And get your straitjackets on tonight and subscribe to my channel, cause it's Make the Noise, Feel Alright. Did I say that right?
No. It's gonna feel alright though, let me tell you.
Yes, if you like rock and roll, sweet pups, and the USA, click like and subscribe to my channel. Yeah! You don't have to have a mouth like an alligator or bang your head. You can just wag your tail, smile, and wait for a treat. That's what I always do. Click, like, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. 1983, man, what a year!
Huge.
There was, things were so much better then.
Were they? Or did they just seem better 40 years later?
They were better. Think about it, because you had great films such as Videodrome, 10 to Midnight, Return of the Jedi, and Bob Chin's adult film classic, The Young Like It Hot, with Kay Parker, Shauna Grant, and Pasha Lee. Man,
great actors.
They don't make them like that anymore, Mark.
Yeah, things were less complicated back then, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Also, there were great TV shows such as The A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard, Dukes of Hazzard, G.I. Joe, and Solid Gold. Oh my God, remember the Solid Gold dancers?
Yeah, that was a thing to itself.
Oh my God, the little lycra outfits and stuff. Oh my God.
They had to move.
Oh man, they look so delicious. How sad and depressing. I mean, compared to what we have today, you got Lizzo, Cardi B, and that, what's that thing called, Billie Eilish? Oh my gosh, how depressing, huh?
They resonate with a different crowd, that's for sure.
No wonder why so many young men have become freaks. I don't blame them. Finally, the best thing was the music. So many great albums in 1983. Some of my favorites are Black Sabbath's Born Again, Slayer, Show No Mercy, their debut, Iron Maiden's Peace of Mind, what a classic, Motorhead's Another Perfect Day, I think that's a great album, Dancing on Your Grave, Rolling Stones' Undercover, man, there's some great tracks, like She Was Hot and Undercover of the Night, AC/DC, Split the Switch, wow. Such an underrated killer album. But the two biggest hard rock heavy metal albums are definitely right here. Def Leppard's Pyromania and Quiet Riot's Metal Health.
Pyromania is the third studio album by Def Leppard. Released in January 1983 through Vertigo Records in UK and Europe, and through Mercury Records in the US. It's the first album to feature guitarist Phil Collins, who replaced founding member Pete Willis. Pyromania was produced by Robert John Mutt Lange, as we know. The album was a shift away from the band's traditional heavy metal roots toward a more radio-friendly sound, finding massive mainstream success. Pyromania charted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, number 4 on the Canadian RPM album chart, and number 18 on the UK albums chart. Yeah, pretty good for them.
Yeah.
Sold over 10 million copies in the US. And it's been certified diamond by the RIAA.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
Pyromania received mostly positive reviews, being commonly considered, along with its follow-up Hysteria, one of the band's finest efforts to date, and one of Mutt Lange's best productions. David Frick of Rolling Stone praised Def Leppard for putting much-needed fire back on the radio, producing sophisticated music, more emotionally charged than most of the synthesized disco that passes for modern music over the airwaves, adding that the band may not be highly original, but they may mean what they play. And Lange's artfully busy music easily covers up any fault. He could make anything sound great. AllMusic reviewer Steve Huey stated that Pyromania was where the band's vision coalesced and gelled into something that was just absolutely amazing.
It's incredible.
So he continued on to describe the music as driven by catchy, shiny riffs, although the latter do pop up once in a while, and added that transcendent hard rock perfection on Pyromania was surprisingly successful. The research never exceeded their grasp, which makes the album enduring and massively influential classic, for sure.
Well, it's not even so surprising. I mean, these songs are so catchy. And, you know, you hear it and, yeah.
The ear just likes it.
Absolutely. Metal Health is the third studio album by American heavy metal band Quiet Riot, released in March 1983. The album spawned the hit singles Come On Feel the Noise and Metal Health. It was the band's first album to receive a worldwide release, as the first two were released only in Japan. Metal Health was the first heavy metal album to reach #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, replacing The Police's Synchronicity. And that too is an amazing album.
That was.
Love that album.
A lot of good work.
Due to its commercial success, Metal Health is regarded by some as the catalyst that opened the door for hair metal's immense popularity throughout the next several years. The album went on to sell more than 10 million copies worldwide. When the band parted ways with bassist Chuck Wright, early in the recording process, vocalist Kevin DeBro asked the band's former bassist Rudy Sarzo to take part in the recording of Thunderbird, a song he had written as a tribute to the band's founder, Randy Rhoads, who died in a 1982 plane crash. The partnership was magical, and Sarzo ended up recording several songs with the band, ultimately leaving Ozzy Osbourne to rejoin Quiet Riot as a permanent member. In support of the album, Quiet Riot opened for Black Sabbath on their Born Again tour in the United States. What a show.
Wow. I mean, can you imagine that happening now? I mean, it's just a gold.
Tickets would be what, like, $1,500 a piece now?
For nosebleeds.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Mark. You're right. They also managed to secure a spot on the 1983 US Festival alongside established acts such as Ozzy Osbourne and Judas Priest. Prior to Quiet Riot's US Festival performance, Sarzo was punched in the face backstage by a drunk Ozzy Osbourne, still bitter over the bassist leaving him to rejoin Quiet Riot several months later. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that you would say drunk and Ozzy Osbourne. Isn't that a double entendre? Isn't he always drunk? Isn't he always
That's
drunk?
true, but I mean, the nerve of Rudy Sarzo. How dare you not let Ozzy Osbourne steal your music and claim it as his own? You selfish prick. All right, okay. To make this a fair battle, to decide the winner, we will have them face off in categories.
Okay.
Keep points and total them up in the end to determine the winner. And I have to say, I love both of these albums. I think both of these albums are amazing, and I couldn't imagine my youth spent without them. These are fantastic albums. So without further ado, let the battle begin. First category. Oh boy, it's gonna be tough, huh?
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Here we go. Better album cover. We have Pyromania and Metal Health. You know, which one is the better album cover? Gosh,
You know, that Metal Health, I mean, that sort of says it all, doesn't it? I mean, it's like, it's insane music, insane people.
Yeah.
I mean, it just really it just grabs you. Pyromania, well, I thought it was more like it's like a Target or something. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's weird, but you know, I will.
There is fire. There is fire.
There's fire. And the album's called Pyromania. Yeah. So I mean, and this is an actual painted cover. This is back in the days when they would actually make these really great album covers. But you're right. There's something about this. As a young man, when he sees this, he can identify with this.
I think so too. You know, there's just a little bit too much going on with it. Maybe it's just too much artistry. I'm not sure.
So where are you going? You're going with Quiet Riot or Def Leppard?
You know what? I will go with Quiet Riot.
I'm going with Quiet Riot too. Better production. Which album has a better production? We have John Mutt Lange versus, what's this guy's name? Spencer Proffer, who's also done like Motley Crue stuff, but this is probably the one he's most popular for, known for.
So, production, I think that in terms of determining the production, first of all, you can hear the good hard sounds at Quiet Riot. And,
Sure,
and that
sure.
takes a lot of production just to get that
Absolutely.
good raw sound to make it not sound crude. Pyromania, though,
Something about it magical, isn't there?
it really is.
Just from the opening, there's something to this sound. I mean, Mutt Lange
It's like
or
it just
John.
puts its arms around you.
It's so warm, right?
It is.
And you can hear everything. It sounds incredible. I'm with you, Mark. I'm going with Def Leppard on this one. And look, I think this sounds amazing too, but come on, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. Number 3, musicianship. Musicianship is very important. So first we're going to look at drums. Rick Allen or Frankie Banali.
It's not fair. Okay?
It is fair. Rick Allen had 2 arms at the time. To me, this is like comparing John Bonham to that little kid in that musical youth band who would play the paint buckets. You know,
Look, Frankie Banali, you got me to say it. Better drummer.
Absolutely.
With this, all day long. That's
powerhouse. He's a powerhouse.
He is.
So look, you have to give it to him. You have to. Don't feel bad about that. I mean, Frankie Banali's
he's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
any band would be lucky to have Frankie Banali. Can you imagine Def Leppard with Frankie Banali? Bass player, Rick Savage or Rudy Sarzo? To me, this is a slam dunk also.
Yeah, it is, because I came into this fight with preconceived notions. I knew
Yes, you
exactly what was going to happen. Rudy Sarzo all day long.
Rudy Sarzo, absolutely. The way he in between the and that hair. But you know what? It's really his tone.
Right.
I mean, the sound of the bass in between when the guitar's not playing on like Metal Health.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear, I never noticed it back in the day, but it jumped out at me. Rick Savage's bass playing, like in Rock of Ages.
Yeah.
Like, what's that synthesized bass sound? I never noticed it back
So
then.
I think part of the issue too is when you have keyboards, which is part of the bass. I mean, they can play bass, and you can play the melody, but you're relying a lot on it to sort of carry through the bass. And that's what you had, which is why I think you're not just relying just on Savage, just to kind of get the bass to go forward.
Sure.
And which is why you got Sarzo there all day long.
Rudy Sarzo. Okay. This is a tougher battle. Lead guitar, Phil Collin or Carlos Cavazo?
Did you know at the time of this recording, Phil Collin, it was its 40th anniversary, actually playing with the band live on stage?
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. I'm going with Phil Collins.
You're going with
I'm
Phil Collins.
going, you know what, and I will take the heat, and I will answer any questions on the matter. I'm going with Phil Collins.
Listen, I play guitar. Mark plays guitar. I wish I had an ounce of Phil Collin talent. He is amazing, and
Either one of them.
I have such a fondness for English guitar playing, hard rock, metal. There's something about them. And with this John Mutt Lange tone, I think his tone's better, but overall, I think the solos, man, Carlos Cavazo, he is an action player.
We'll get into Battle Axe a little bit later, I'm sure.
So we're going Def Leppard, Quiet Riot on that one. We're split on that one. First disagreement.
Yeah.
Okay, vocals. We got Joe Elliott or Kevin DeBro.
So I think that when you look at both of them, and you look at, I couldn't imagine Joe Elliott singing Metal Health. So I mean, think about it. You have a crossover, okay?
Yeah.
One sing one album, one sing the other.
Sure.
Again, I couldn't see Kevin DeBro singing, Foolin' or something like that. I mean, he just has too much of an edge to his voice. Love the edge.
Both great singers for what they do.
Yeah.
But I think one is a little bit better than the other.
I'm going with Joe Elliott. And here's why. He's got better tone, more range, and
More range?
absolutely more range.
Oh, well, respectfully disagree, but
Okay.
you do have the PhD in rock and roll, so I can't argue. I'm still going with Kevin DeBro. I prefer his vocals, and I think Joe Elliott's amazing.
Could you
but-
sing in Foolin'?
Yeah.
Okay. And have it sound clear.
I would rather hear Joe Elliott
Maybe
sing.
Mutt Lange could make him sound nice and clean.
Mutt Lange will make us sound great.
That's true.
Okay, here we go. A track by track battle. So, first we have.
And we're just going in order. Is that how we're doing
We're just
it?
going to
Number
make
one
it
to number
easier.
one?
Absolutely.
Fine.
This
Okay.
is the only way.
All right.
Track number 1. Rock Rock Till You Drop versus Metal Health Bang Your Head.
Metal Health.
Metal Health. Come on. That song's a masterpiece.
It really
Man,
is.
what a song.
Listen, it is such a bright pixel in the LED screen of rock, heavy metal. It really is. You know,
Remember when we were little turds and we heard, that first time we heard, dun, 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 that scream from Kevin DeBro. It's like, somebody, we can relate to this. They know us.
Gave me goosebumps. Sometimes just thinking about it.
Just thinking about it, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Look, Godzilla has goosebumps. Look at this.
Look at that.
Anyways, okay. Next one. Photograph or Come On Feel the Noise?
Photograph. I'm going with it because you know what? Come On Feel the Noise. First of all,
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
oh, you're going to say is its cover? Is that what
I
it
knew
is?
you were going to say that.
Listen,
I'm a mind reader.
It's way better than Slade, okay?
Sure.
Just, got it. But, why? Why do you need to do that? If you're a great band, it's one thing, if you're live, okay? And you're playing music, you're entertaining the crowd or something like that. But on an album like this, you don't need to do it. They did it way better, on this song than the original. Agreed. That is the case most of the time. But in this situation, Photograph, it's original. It's an amazing song.
Photograph is
number one on singles chart for a reason.
Listen, Photograph is better than any song released like in the last 20 years on pop radio or hard rock radio. But Come On Feel the Noise, that song, it's not even a Quiet Riot song, but it's so catchy and contagious, and this is the song that made me buy the album. I heard that first, so I'm like, wow, I gotta get this album. I don't know who this band is. We're split on that one. Next one. Stage Fright versus Don't Want to Let You Go.
It's a little bit.
Stage Fright.
Yeah.
All night.
It's kind of a dumb song. Def Leppard.
Wow.
You gotta do it. I'm gonna just go right there. Sorry. It's just.
Stage Fright, there's something about that song. That sounds like it was rushed and Mutt just took some like pieces of songs and it's kind of fit, forced them together like bad puzzle pieces. Don't Want to Let You Go. That's a great song. It could have been a single.
Yeah.
And I love Frankie Banali's drums.
I don't think they marketed the album, and maybe they didn't have the money behind it to really do it that way, but I don't think they marketed it in a way that could have made it a lot more successful.
We're going to talk about that when we get to the videos.
Right.
Definitely. But Def Leppard, Quiet Riot. Too Late for Love versus Slick Black Cadillac.
Look, so in 1983, Bruce Springsteen recorded Pink Cadillac. I think that did better than Slick Black Cadillac.
Well, who the hell wants a pink Cadillac? Wouldn't you rather get a black Cadillac?
A Slick Black Cadillac.
A slick black Cadillac.
Yeah, so Randy Rhoads actually was one of the writers of the song.
That's right, he wrote that song.
And I think there's a reason why he left it behind and didn't.
You know what, Mark? We're going to agree on this one. I cannot believe this. Too Late for Love is, man, what a masterpiece.
Standing
That
on
is
its
a
own.
classic.
It really is.
That could have been the lead single. What a great song.
Sure.
Okay. We're both going with Def Leppard on that one. Die Hard the Hunter versus Love's a Bitch.
Love's a Bitch.
Love's a Bitch.
Yeah.
And his vocals in that song. Die Hard the Hunter, there's some real catchy stuff going on there, but
It's okay.
I'm going with Love's a Bitch too. And look, I do love Die Hard the Hunter. I think that's a great song. Right, so 2 for Quiet Riot. All right, here we go. Boy, this is going to be a tough one. Foolin' versus Breathless.
Actually, I think this is a good pairing, for each other for the two songs. Because I think there's some songs that took them out of order. They'd probably a better fit for match.
Are you foolin' right now?
I am not foolin' because foolin' that's the song. That's the song.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, that was such a big song, and for a good reason. That's a classic.
Absolutely.
Run for Cover. The thing I like about it, that's a real metal song. Mm-hmm. It's got metal vibes, but man, Foolin' is like such warm tones. It's got a lot of melody. Foolin', absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Both going with Def Leppard on that one. Okay, here's a big one. Rock of Ages versus Run for Cover.
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
Every
Come
day,
on.
twice on Sunday. I mean, that's to me.
All right, here we go. Coming Under Fire or Battle Axe?
Look at Cavazos, no Randy Rose.
He's no Randy Rose.
Yeah,
it's a great solo though.
I would love to be able to hit the solo like that and think of it, but I don't think that it was necessary. I don't think that it's something that is going to be, in history to stand by itself.
What a missed opportunity! Why did he throw what did he say there? Black Sabbath? And he was Tony Iommi?
Yeah, I think that's really
what the hell was going on there?
He was trying to secure his dominance in the band. I think.
Why they didn't do another song, an actual song? This is a no-brainer. Coming Under Fire. Yeah, absolutely. All right, what else we got? All right, Action Not Words versus Let's Go Crazy. You don't remember how Action Not Words goes anymore.
Let's Go Crazy. I like the Quiet Riot one. I like the Prince one. I like them both. I'm going with
Let's Go Crazy. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, and the last one. Finally, we got Billy's Got a Gun versus Thunderbird.
So the reality is, people might hate me for this. I don't like Thunderbird. I don't like it. And I know, it's a tribute to Randy
No, that's
Rhoads,
fine.
whatever.
It doesn't matter.
I don't like it. But you know what? I don't like Billy's Got a Gun. I think it's dumb. And that's worse. That's even, it's dumb versus dumber. I mean, that's basically. So I'll go with the dumb. I'll go with Thunderbird.
Going with Thunderbird. Look, I love Billy's Got a Gun, and I love Thunderbird. I think Thunderbird's where Kevin DeBro really gets to showcase his vocal talent and abilities. It's such a soulful vocal performance by him, and I think it's really heartfelt. You can hear it,
Yeah.
Thunderbird. Right. 2 for Quiet Riot. Okay, next. Lyrics. Overall lyrics. DeBro versus Joe Elliott. So, I've actually written down some of the lyrics I appreciate from both bands.
Okay, let's hear it.
We got Def Leppard's Foolin'. Quote, on and on we rode the storm. The flame has died and the fire has gone. Oh, this empty bed is a night alone. I realized that long ago. Man, you know what? That really is poetic and nice and sensitive. I like it. I think it's nice. Then we have in the other corner, we got Quiet Riot, Kevin DeBro, Let's Go Crazy. Quote, wanna kiss your lips, not the ones on your face. Your innocent jive is really out of place. In need of assistance, a dog for my bone. Ain't no way tonight I go home alone. Let's go crazy.
Yeah, so one is a little bit more, sensitive, I think.
Absolutely. Kevin DeBro is a degenerate form of poetry, right?
Yeah,
he's a sleazeball. Absolutely.
Well, but it's not necessarily, romantic music to begin with. Right?
I mean, young guys listen to this. What do we identify with,
Well, it's what happens when testosterone starts pumping, It's like, it's that, fun little thinking. Yeah, so we're back to the lyrics.
Who's the better lyricist?
I'm going with Def Leppard.
Oh my God!
Def Leppard.
Oh my. All right, I'm going with Quiet Riot. Kevin DeBro. I'm a sleazeball, so.
Look, Def Leppard also had a lot more input by a lot of people on the songs.
Their music videos. Photograph versus Come On Feel the Noise. And I just watched these again for last night. First time in like 40, 30 something years.
And it wasn't 40 years for me because we didn't have MTV or cable in 40 years.
That's right. You were on the other side of the track.
Yeah, that's right. I had to come over to my friend's house or something that actually had cable. So they said, "Would you leave already?" Like, no, I
gotta see the video.
Exactly. That's right. So videos. So what are the two videos that we're going to
Photograph versus Come On Feel the Noise.
I'm going with Photograph all day long. And listen, the production value. When we talk about production value of the albums, when you talk about production value of the videos, Def Leppard had so much more money. They had so many more resources, and they put it into it. Not just in what they were, how they were filming it, but in terms of the production, the editing. And so I'm going with Photograph.
Yeah, Photograph. It even tells like a little story. Has that hot, sexy Marilyn Monroe lookalike. And, Joe Elliott, wanting to meet her and twerk her and stuff. And the Quiet Riot video, I couldn't believe it. I actually looked at the counter a minute and like 20 seconds before they even showed the band. Mm-hmm. It's a minute and 20 seconds of some kid laying on his bed, like looking at his stereo. I'm like, who put this together? What's going on here?
They just turned on the camera and they said, play the music.
Horrible. Horrible. So we both going with a Def Leppard on that one. Rock of Ages versus Metal Health. Bang your head.
So I already gave the cover to Quiet Riot because, you know what, Metal Health, you know, and showing it and focusing, I thought it was great. You know, the guy just smashing around the insane asylum and things of that nature. And Rock of Ages, I'm going with Rock of Ages.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it didn't start out, you know, with them, with the...
Look, there are things going on in that video. I watched it again last night, and I was like, man, you know, it's a good thing I saw this when I was a kid.
Right.
Because watching this today, my impression's a little different. I don't know.
It scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, you know, watching some of that, you know, when it started
Rock of Ages, they're zooming in on Phil Collins' butt shaking back and forth, and, you know, Rick Allen doesn't have the shirt on, this little kid, you know. I'm like, man, you know, there's such a difference between these two videos and these two bands ultimately.
Agreed.
Watching the Def Leppard, I mean, definitely it's to get that female audience. You know, this is for the women, you know. And Quiet Riot, that Metal Health video, that was me. I felt that, like that kid was me in the sanitarium with the mask on, the straitjacket. And I love when the band is on stage and you see Kevin DeBro molesting Carlos Cabello, he's playing a guitar solo.
Hard to get women in a straitjacket, though, isn't it?
You know, if you give them the right drinks, it's not that hard, Mark.
Okay, well, you're still gonna be all tied up.
Def Leppard, Quiet Riot. We'll split on that one.
Okay.
Next, the final category. Man. The better looking front man. Who would you rather pork? This is a tough one. And I know what you're thinking.
I think this is a question for the ladies.
I know what you're thinking.
Crazy ass honky cracker
What
bitch.
difference does that make, you know? But hear me out. Hear me out. My very first concert was seeing Def Leppard.
Okay.
I saw them on this tour. I saw them on the Pyromania tour. And I was lucky enough that my older, much older sister let me go with her and her boyfriend to see Def Leppard. The supporting acts were Crocus and John Butcher Axis. And years later, I asked my sister, I'm like, how come we didn't see AC/DC back in the day? Mm-hmm. We could have seen AC/DC on the For Those About the Rock tour. Why didn't we go? She paused and thought about it for a minute, and she said, because they weren't good looking.
Very smart.
You know, and I never thought about those things, but this is an important thing. You know, it really is.
You have to look at the audience as a whole. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't give it.
Unless it's Rush and it's only, you know, nerd guys. Anyway.
So, thus we will consider frontman appearance. Joe Elliott or Kevin DeBro? Who would you rather pork?
I'll pass.
Well, then it's going to only get only one person, only one frontman's going to get the point.
So, well, here's what I can say. Who is a better frontman? And I think I could.
No, it's all looks, Mark. It's looks.
It's all.
We're both straight as an arrow, but still, we have to factor this in these woke times. You know, woke times deserve woke answers. You know.
Well, I think Kevin DeBro's not so woke these days. But... Oh, what do you look for?
Well, you know what. Looking at these videos again after all these years, I'm watching Joe Elliott, I'm like, gosh, who is he? He looks like he could be Andrew McCarthy's twin sister. That looks like Andrew McCarthy's twin sister. You know, that dude from Pretty in Pink and Weekend at Bernie's? Meanwhile, Kevin DeBro looks like David Hess, the psychopath from Last House on the Left. So, for me, if I got a pork one, you know what? It's going to be Joe Elliott. I mean, he's the prettier one, right?
Oh, he is the prettier one.
Sensitive lyrics,
yes,
and you know.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm not fooling, so you know.
All right, so give it to Joe Elliott.
We're both gonna. That's two for Joe Elliott. Well, now let's total up those numbers and see who the winner is. There we go. Oh my gosh. So okay. Well, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 22. 22 for Def Leppard, and 5, 10, 15, 18 for Quiet Riot. I don't believe it.
You really thought it was going to come out to Quiet Riot, didn't you?
You know, I love both of these albums, but initially, we were divided on this.
We were.
You went in there believing this album to be the better one. I prefer this one.
But you know what? I really thought it was going to be a runaway with Def Leppard. I really thought this was a fight. Somebody's bringing sticks and the other person's bringing a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
But 18 to 22, it's really not that big of a divide.
Both amazing albums. Yeah. Again, I couldn't imagine my youth without these albums, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
I love this album. I think usually if I'm going to go out for a workout or a jog or a walk, I'm putting this on.
That could be your cool. This could be your cool down though. After you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So
come over here. What is all this stuff? I see Brian Johnson. I see Exorcism. I see Phantasm. What
look at all these goodies. I mean, well, look. You guys remember this classic film, Phantasm? What a masterpiece, huh? Let me know if you think I should review this, or if you want Monster Picker to review this film. We also have When a Stranger Calls. Remember this film? Have you checked the children yet? And come on, the Lucio Fulci masterpiece, The Gates of Hell. What a classic, huh? And I remember you like this one, Mark. Foxy Boxing. This is a classic, and it has Tracy Lords in it. She's a ring girl in this. Unavailable. I think she was like 3 years old when she made this one, so they don't do this. It's not available anymore.
She was. What I'm more concerned about is that this has all these texts.
This book right here?
Well, look, this is given a lot of use. Look at this.
Yeah. Well,
this is Exorcism: How to Clear at a Distance a Spirit-Possessed Person.
Well, I needed this to help members of my family, like my mother and my sister, and in South Florida, I am known as the Max von Sydow of exorcisms.
I have heard that.
So,
what's the word on the street?
So yeah, these are all for different people. I had to help, and if you need some help for the right price, I can come and perform an exorcism. Absolutely.
And he knows the causes of the spirit person because he read it right here too. So
you have to.
You have to know the why.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Okay.
I just finished reading this book. The Lives of Brian Johnson. My mother actually picked this book up for me, and initially I wasn't even interested in reading this because I saw him in an interview and he talked about the book and he said it's not really a book about AC/DC.
Okay.
It's just about him. I'm like, well, I love Brian Johnson, one of my favorite singers of all time, but I'm not in love with him or anything. But I read the book. You know what? This book is so fascinating. If you love Brian Johnson and AC/DC, you have to read this book. It has, he talks about when he met Bon Scott and his first meeting with AC/DC and Malcolm Young, what a humble and warm person Malcolm was, and how kind of distant and cold Angus Young was.
Really?
He talks about other jobs that he had back in the day, putting windshields in cars, and had a roofing business. It's a fascinating read, and he does talk about AC/DC in here. He said he doesn't, but he does. There's a lot of AC/DC in here.
I'll have to check that one out.
And yeah, I guess that's it. I don't have anything else here. So yeah,
good stuff.
Check those things out. Well, Mark, do you have any final thoughts on this?
I think that we have two very good competitors in this category today. I think that we have a clear winner. I think that the divide isn't as large as we thought it was going to be, and I think that it's just a great comparison for the viewers. Give us your thoughts down below.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know what your favorite album in 1983 was.
And if there's two other albums that you think that should go head to head, not necessarily these, put it down below. I'd be happy to do it.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure doing this. I mean, you have your PhD in rock and roll and heavy metal and everything. So
I think that was a mail away one. Just right now.
It's great to do an album battle with somebody with your background. And I truly do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
And finally, don't you wait. Don't stand still. Gotta keep it moving, or you'll pay the bill. Go by car, go by train. You gotta keep it running, or you'll feel the pain. Love's a bitch, baby. Thank you for watching, and stay safe. Leppard.